That is one of our featured bouts on First on Prime. Now let's go to our second streaming fight as we see 17-year-old prospect Dylan Capetillo stepping in for a second pro fight against unbeaten James William Pierce. 4 rounds in the super lightweight division. Please help me welcome, with a record 1-0, won by knockout, a Las Vegas native. Here is Dylan Capetillo. James William Pierce couldn't make it, but we will see him later in fight week. So, Dylan Capetillo, ladies and gentlemen. And now we go to our third streaming fight, as that features rising contender Daniel Blancas taking on the hard-hitting Raul Solomon in a 10-round super middleweight showdown. First up to the stage with a record of 16 victories, 14 by knockout, opposite of 3 defeats and 1 draw. He is a native of Ciudad Morelos, Baja California, Mexico, and he is unbeaten in his last 5 outings. Please help me welcome Raul Solomon. And now we'll bring on his opponent. He is undefeated, 14 victories, 7 by knockout. He is a 24-year-old native of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, trained by the renowned Jose Benavidez Sr., and he is making his 2026 debut after 3 impressive wins in 2025. Here is Daniel Blancas. All right, we're now going to bring up the rest of our First on Prime for a group shot. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to ask our pay-per-view fighters to come take the stage and take their seats. So if our pay-per-view fighters can start to make their way to the stage and take their seats.
¿Cómo estamos?
¡Vamos, varón! ¡Venga, venga!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now set. Once again, welcome into the MGM Grand here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as Premier Boxing Champions presents our final press conference. This Saturday, we see undefeated two-division world champion David El Monstro Benavidez and unified WBA and WBO cruiserweight world champion Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez headlining Cinco de Mayo weekend here in Las Vegas in an all-Mexican showdown. It all takes place this Saturday, May 2nd, headlining a PBC pay-per-view event available on Prime Video and DAZN.com, and it is from T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada. The pay-per-view begins at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, with a 5-fight lineup full of Mexico versus Mexico showdowns, including a co-main event clash between the WBA super middleweight world champion Armando Toro Resendiz and all-action former champion Jaime Munguia. Plus, we see super lightweight contenders Oscar Duarte and Angel Fierro square off in a 12-round clash, and unbeaten super bantamweight contenders Jorge Chavez and Jose Tito Sanchez as they meet in a 10-round bout. And plus, we will open up the pay-per-view with unbeaten rising star Isaac Puro Mexico Lucero as he faces the hard-hitting contender Ismael Flores in a 10-round super welterweight opening bout. Once again, prior to the pay-per-view, we already saw a 3-fight First on Prime lineup. Once again, it streams live and free on Prime Video beginning 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. Headline, once again, by rising super middleweight Daniel Blancas. Tickets are still on sale now through AXS.com. And of course, this event is promoted by Golden Boy Promotions and Samson Boxing in association with TGB Promotions. In addition to the pay-per-view being available for purchase on Prime Video, regardless of Prime membership, fans can also be able to purchase the pay-per-view via DAZN.com. And on top of those options, fans will also be able to continue to access the telecast through traditional cable and satellite outlets, as well as ppv.com. Now, before we get to our pay-per-view combatants, I want to bring up a couple of men that are responsible for putting together a tremendous all-Mexican showdown here on this special Cinco de Mayo weekend. First up, he is the president of TGB Promotions. Please help me welcome Mr. Tom Brown.
Thank you, Miguel. This is such a great event, and it's on such an important and meaningful date. Fighting on Cinco de Mayo weekend is every Mexican fighter's desire. You know, boxing fans have come to always expect Cinco de Mayo weekend to give them the best and biggest fights of the year. You know, at the opening press conference, Oscar touched a little bit on the history of this fighting on this date, going back to the early 90s with Julio Cesar Chavez, and then we moved into the Golden Boy era, where Oscar really cemented the tradition and put this date as a staple on the boxing schedule. So moving forward, I forgot what I was going to say, but I just want to say I'm really looking forward to working with Golden Boy Promotions on this event, with Eric Gomez and the whole team there. We've had tremendous success in the past. A few years back, we had the Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, massive success. And then the last time there was a Cinco de Mayo event in Las Vegas, we co-promoted the Canelo Alvarez, Jaime Munguia fight. And really there hasn't been a fight since 2024 when we promoted that fight. But now, Cinco de Mayo weekend is back bigger than ever, and we have a star-studded lineup of Mexico versus Mexico showdowns. And then, of course, the main event, Benavidez versus Zurdo, Mexico versus Mexico. And I believe that this is going to be a fight of the year. And I also believe, and I say this with all due respect to Zurdo Ramirez, I believe David Benavidez is going to have a spectacular win on Saturday night. I believe he'll take this date over for many years to come, and we'll see y'all Saturday. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tom. And now I want to bring up another man responsible for this tremendous fight card. He is a legend of the sport, no stranger to Cinco de Mayo weekend. Please help me welcome the chairman and CEO of Golden Boy Promotions, Mr. Oscar De La Hoya.
Thank you very much. Golden Boy is so thankful to all partners involved, including Amazon, DAZN, Samson Boxing, PBC, and TGB. We worked really hard to put an amazing card of Mexico versus Mexico matchups that will keep fans entertained from the opening bell. I want to recognize the Golden Boy fighters on the pay-per-view undercard that have been training so hard to bring the best entertainment on Saturday night. Jorge Dorado and Jose Sanchez, who will fight each other in a 10-round fight for the WBA Continental title. The aggressive Oscar Duarte will fight for the WBC Silver Super Lightweight title against the dangerous Angel Fierro for a 10-round super fight. And in the Freeview, Vegas's very own Dylan Capetillo will make his second career performance, and Javier Mesa looks to continue his victory streak. We are very proud to be here in Las Vegas once again, presenting an amazing card on such an amazing weekend for boxing. Cinco de Mayo, the tradition, its glory, what brings us all together is not only this special date, but these special fighters who are here on the podium. The willingness to fight each other, the willingness to really be the very best. And as if you've heard me in the past saying all the time, the best must fight the very best. And this is the epitome of that. We feel that Cinco de Mayo weekend, a Mexico versus Mexico showdown, will be an amazing, amazing event for everyone who wants to celebrate and just have a great time here in Las Vegas and in the U.S. celebrating Cinco de Mayo. So thank you very much for being here. Y buena suerte, gracias. Thank you very much for all the participants. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Oscar. Now it is time to hear from our fighters. We'll start with our pay-per-view opener, 8 rounds in the super welterweight division. First up to the stage, he is originally from Argentina, and he moved to Spain to pursue his boxing dream. And he has put together an impressive record fighting out of the country. He has won 7 straight fights, and he makes his U.S. debut this Saturday night with the record of 17 victories, 12 by knockout, opposite of 1 defeat and 1 draw. Please help me welcome Ismael Flores.
Bueno, gente, primero que nada agradecer a Dios por este momento, a todo el público, la verdad, a Isaac Lucero por esta oportunidad, a todo ese equipo. Y bueno, nada, contento de estar aquí. Parecía un sueño, ahora estar aquí es como algo muy emocionante. Este 2 de mayo quiero hacer historia, voy a hacer historia y voy a ganar la pelea.
Well, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate this opportunity. This is a dream come true for me, something that I had envisioned for so long. So now I'm here to make the most of it and come out with the win on Saturday night. May 2nd is going to be my night. Muchas gracias, Ismael.
Gracias, gracias a todos.
All right, thank you, Ismael. Now let's talk to his opponent, who is a rising contender, quickly coming up the ranks. He is training here in Las Vegas by renowned trainer Bob Santos. He most recently stopped veteran Roberto Valenzuela Jr. in December. He is from La Paz, Baja California Sur, Mexico. He is undefeated, 18 victories, 14 by knockout. He is a showstopper. Please help me welcome Isaac Puro Mexico Lucero.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Primero que nada, gracias a Dios por esta oportunidad. Es un sueño para mí estar aquí, esta función frente a grandes campeones. Hice una gran preparación. Voy a salir a dar todo y esa victoria se queda en México.
Well,
Gracias. Gracias también a todos los que hacen posible esto, Samsung Boxing, PBC, mi entrenador Bob Santos. Gracias a todos.
Well, first of all, thank God for this opportunity, and I'm really blessed to be in such a great card with so many amazing champions. So right now, what I can tell you is that the win is going to be mine. It's going to remain in Mexico, and I want to thank Samsung Boxing, PBC, everybody that was able to make this fight happen. So let's do it.
Gracias.
That is our pay-per-view opener, and we'll hear a little bit more from them a little bit later on. And now we move to our second pay-per-view fight. It's 10 rounds in the super bantamweight division. First up to the podium, he is 26 years of age. Most recently knocked out Jesus Eduardo Rubio back in January. From Cathedral City, California, undefeated. 15 victories, 9 by knockout. Please help me welcome Jose Tito Sanchez.
Hello, everybody. So first, I want to thank my promoter, Golden Boy, and of course, PBC for having me here. And I'm just feeling ready to perform on May 2nd and give you guys what you guys paid for. Of course, it's that Mexican-style war fight, and we're ready for anything. Thank you, guys.
And now we go to his opponent, who is also coming in originally from Tijuana, now training in Orange County. He kicked off 2026 by avenging the one blemish on his record with a unanimous decision victory over Manuel Flores back in January after their first match. That was a majority draw. He comes in 15 victories, no defeats, 8 by knockout, and just one draw. Please help me welcome Jorge Chavez.
Hello, everybody. This mic is kind of high. I got to get up here. First and foremost, I want to thank God for this opportunity. I want to thank everybody who has put their dues into making this event happen. Golden Boy, PBC, The Zone, Prime Video. Everybody, thank you guys for having us here. And shout out to my team, Abraham Perez with SOA Boxing, my head coach, Hector Lopez with TKO Boxing. And yeah, expect a great event. I mean, it's not very often that you guys get a stacked card of Mexicans. So expect a war out there. Expect there to be fireworks. And it's a blessing to be here. Cinco de Mayo weekend. Let's get it, mi gente.
And now we go to our third pay-per-view fight, 10 rounds in the super lightweight division. And this one is promoted in association with Cancun Boxing and Box Stars. Coming to the podium now from Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. He is known for his all-action style as he engaged in a very memorable slugfest with Mexican superstar Pitbull Cruz in one of the best fights of 2025. With the record, 23 victories, 18 by knockout, opposite of 4 defeats and 2 draws. Please help me welcome Angel Tashiro Fierro.
Hola, buenas tardes a todos. Primero que nada, agradezco a Dios por estar aquí, a la empresa de PBC por esta segunda oportunidad, mi empresa Bostar, todo mi equipo de trabajo de Team Zona Norte, de Fernando Fernández, y agradecido, ¿no?, con la vida por esta oportunidad. Vengo a aclarar la duda que dejé la pelea pasada, a limpiar mi nombre, llevarme la victoria este sábado. Saludos, gracias. Arriba Tijuana.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I want to thank God for the opportunity. Also thank PBC, my team, everybody that made it happen. And what I can tell you is that I'm here to be better than ever, to come out with the win on Saturday, to clean up my name, and to put Tijuana's name on the very top. You're going to see a show on Saturday night, and let's go Tijuana.
All right, now we bring on his opponent. He is a top 140-pound contender, riding a 4-fight winning streak, including a win last August over the very tough Kenneth Sims Jr. from Parral, Chihuahua, Mexico, with 30 victories, 23 by knockout, and just 2 defeats and 1 draw. Please help me welcome La Migrana, Oscar Duarte.
Muy contento de estar aquí parado. Hace rato ahí estaba dando una entrenada y estaba recordando todo lo que se ha hecho para llegar aquí. Ha sido bastante trabajo, entrenamientos duros, cortes de peso, y pues agradecido con todos ustedes aquí presentes y también con toda la gente que nos ve, porque pues siempre han estado firmes apoyando al boxeo y admirando nuestro trabajo. Esta noche se van a llevar también pues mucha alegría, porque yo pienso que hasta lo que va del año es la mejor cartelera que ha habido, puede ser la cartelera del año. Entonces aquí quien va a salir ganando pues son todos ustedes, la gente que vaya a estar ahí esa noche, los que nos vean. Yo de mi parte pues vengo listo, me encanta esto de pelear. Hice una gran preparación acá con Roberto García en Moreno Valley. Se hizo el trabajo también en equipo, se hizo todo bien. Ahorita ya nomás vengo a ejecutar y a ganar contundente este sábado. Gracias de nuevo y vamos con todo.
I'm so thankful to be here, to be standing in front of all of you. And I think this is going to be possibly the card of the year, because it's that outstanding. The fans are going to be the real winners of the night, because we're all going to put on a show. And I couldn't help but think about how far I've come from the tough training sessions that I've had, the way that we trained so well with Robert Garcia, having to cut weight, and everything we had to do in order to be in optimal condition for this fight. So now it's just time to give the fans the show that they deserve, to be ready for May 2nd, and I'm blessed to do it.
All right. That is our third fight on the pay-per-view, and now we go to our co-main event, a World Championship bout, 12 rounds for the WBA Super Middleweight World Championship. Once again, this bout is promoted in association with Warriors Boxing and Zanfer Boxing Promotions. First up to the podium, this man is one of the sport's premier action fighters. He is a former world champion at 154 pounds, and he most recently avenged his loss to Bruno Saras by winning a unanimous decision in their rematch last May. He is a native of Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. Please help me welcome the incredible Jaime Munguia.
Bueno, primero que nada, buenas tardes a todos. Muchas gracias por estar aquí, gracias por acompañarnos. Muy contento de estar regresando a Las Vegas después de un par de años, después de grandes experiencias de vida. La verdad que estamos muy contentos nuevamente de estar aquí, agradecido con Dios, con la vida, con todos ustedes, con todos los que hacen posible esto, con Eddie Reynoso, con el Canelo Team, con mi padre que está aquí. Muchas gracias. Pues estamos listos para demostrar de lo que estamos hechos y Y primeramente Dios, este sábado 2 de mayo, Tijuana tiene nuevo campeón del mundo. Muchas gracias a todos. Ánimo. Arriba Tijuana.
Thank you all for being here. I want to thank God for this opportunity, and I'm blessed to have the support of the Team Canelo, Eddie Reynoso, my father, who is also here. And what I can tell you is that Tijuana is going to have a new world champion this Saturday night, and it's going to be an amazing fight.
All right, now let's go to his opponent, the champ. He won his title in one of boxing's biggest upsets of 2025 with the decision win over the former champion, Caleb Plant, last May. He is from Guayabitos, Nayarit, Mexico. He is the reigning WBA super middleweight world champion with the record 16 victories, 11 by knockout, and just 2 defeats. Here is Armando Toro Resendiz.
Primero que nada, quiero agradecer a Dios por tenerme donde me tiene. Gracias a Él que me ha dado la fuerza, la fortaleza para cumplir mis sueños. Y una vez más me doy cuenta de que con Él todo es posible. Me siento muy agradecido con todo mi team. Me siento muy agradecido con Luisito de Cuba Jr. Gracias por el excelente trabajo. Luis de Cuba también. Mi manager, Jesse Rodríguez. Mi coach Manny, que hemos trabajado en buenas y en malas. Hemos trabajado mucho, hemos trabajado fuerte. Muchas gracias, coach, por regañarme. Yo sé que todo eso es para bien. Muchas gracias a todas las personas que van a ver esta pelea. Tengan por seguro que esto es una guerra. Esto va a ser una gran pelea. Por mi parte, voy a estar dándolo todo. Voy a salir a darlo todo por mi familia, por mi niño, mi esposa, mis padres, por mi sueño y porque toda la gloria sea para Dios.
Well, first of all, thank you all for being here. I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity to be standing here. I know that with His will and His blessing, everything is possible. I also want to thank my team, my coach, Manny Robles, my manager, Jesse Rodriguez, everybody that made it possible for me to be as prepared as I am for May 2nd, even through the tough training sessions and the scolding that sometimes I got, but I know that was just to be better every single day. And there's going to be a war on May 2nd. I can guarantee you that. It's going to be a great show, and God willing, I'm going to come out with the win as well.
Y muchas gracias a ti, Martín. Eres el mejor.
De nada, hermano.
All right, now let's hear a little bit more from our pay-per-view fighters. First up, let's start with our pay-per-view opener. I'm going to direct this question to Ismael Flores. And Ismael, you took this fight on short notice, and you are making your U.S. debut. Why did you want to jump at this opportunity against Isaac Lucero?
Ismael, ¿qué te hizo querer poder tener esta oportunidad contra Isaac Lucero? En tu debut en Estados Unidos, una experiencia completamente distinta.
Perdona, no te escucho muy bien.
No. ¿Me escuchas ahora? ¿Mejor? ¿Bien? ¿Me escuchas bien ahora? ¿Sí? Ahora. Ok. ¿Qué te hizo querer tomar esta oportunidad de pelear acá en Estados Unidos por primera vez contra Isaac Lucero en una cartelera como esta? ¿Qué te motivó a querer hacerlo?
Bueno, es una oportunidad en la que no podíamos desaprovecharla. Es una oportunidad en la que nos puede llevar a la gloria o nos puede seguir hacia donde estamos. Vamos a seguir peleando y bueno, nada, aquí venimos a darlo todo, a llevarnos la victoria y esa fue la decisión, ¿no? De venir a darlo todo y aprovecharlo, de estar con una grandísima cartelera en la que estamos.
The decision wasn't tough at all because we knew that we had to come here for an opportunity that we just couldn't pass up. We're going to give it our all, we're going to make our preparation worth it, and this is the kind of opportunity that opens up a lot of doors for us. So hopefully that's the case.
And now I'll go over to you, Isaac. You are obviously a part of an amazing card. You're going to start the pay-per-view. what type of statement are you looking to make Saturday night?
¿Qué tipo de mensaje estás tratando de mandar este sábado por la noche?
Bueno, el mensaje que quiero mandar esta noche es que quiero una oportunidad, quiero ganármela, quiero que la gente vea que merezco o que me he ganado la oportunidad de estar en estas grandes carteleras. Es todo lo que quiero darle a la gente que quiera seguirme viendo en estas grandes carteleras.
Give me a shot to prove myself. Let me show you how much I've grown, how much I've matured, and how I deserve to be a part of these kind of cards from now on. That's what I'm going to do. That's the statement I want to make.
All right, that's our pay-per-view opener, Isaac Lucero, Ismael Flores. Now let's go to our second bout, as I'll start with you, Jose. As both of you are unbeaten, what's going to be the key difference in this fight to come out on top?
I believe just the hard work I did at the gym, the preparation we did at the Diaz training camp with my coach Joel Diaz, and of course my grandpa, and all that the extra miles we did, all that hard, tough sparring we had, different opponent, and that's what's the key that's going to work for this fight.
And now over to you, Jorge. This is your first fight in Las Vegas. How meaningful is it for you to be a part of a card like this against Jose Sanchez?
It means everything to me. You know, I'm trying to level up and fight the best of the best in my division. And, you know, this is another little hill I need to go over and just to see what's on the other side for me.
All right, that's our second pay-per-view bout. Jorge Chavez, Jose Tito Sanchez. And now we move on to our next bout, as I will start with you, Angel. You have a tremendous opportunity in front of you fighting Duarte. What do you need to do in order to be the man that has his hands raised in T-Mobile Arena May 2nd?
Ángel, la oportunidad que tenés enfrente tuyo es inmejorable, tremenda, pero ¿qué es lo que tenés que hacer vos para terminar la noche con tu brazo alzado? ¿No me escuchas bien? ¿Ahora me escuchas bien?
¿Me repites la pregunta, por favor?
A ver, espera, no me haces. ¿Ahora me escuchas mejor? ¿Me escuchas bien? Ok. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que tenés que hacer este sábado para aprovechar esta oportunidad tremenda y terminar con tu brazo alzado?
No, ganar. Lo que tenemos que aprovechar es ganar este sábado, dar lo mejor de mí. Ya conocieron ambas versiones de mí, buena y mala, pero esta vez vengo con una versión nueva y muy diferente. La voy a demostrar mañana subiéndome a la romana, embarcando el peso como debe de ser, no decepcionando a la gente. Y el día 2 llevándome la victoria a Tijuana y teniendo un nuevo campeón plata y OMB.
It's just about being able to show that I'm up to the task. People have seen the good and the bad from me, so all I gotta do is be able to make weight tomorrow, then go after in the fight, and God willing, I'm gonna be able to bring the win back to Tijuana.
And now over to you, Duarte. What is Fierro going to find out when he steps into the ring with you Saturday night?
Oscar, ¿qué es lo que Fierro de qué se va a dar cuenta este sábado cuando entre al ring con vos?
Pues ahí nos vamos a ver el sábado. Sé que él es un peleador que pelea, aguerrido. Eso pues me motiva porque sé que va a ser una gran pelea. Yo siempre me centro en mí. De mi parte hice un gran campamento, se me juntó con el pasado, ya que el rival se me rajó. Y en esta preparación la hice muy bien, hice todo bien y estoy listo para ejecutar este sábado.
Oh, I'm pumped up because Angel is someone that can brawl, that can be someone that proposes a really good fight, so I'm excited for that. But I'm only relying on myself, really, because I know I had a great preparation. In fact, this training camp was preceded by the one I had before when the fight got postponed, so I couldn't be more ready, and I'm ready to show who I am.
All right, that is our third fight on our pay-per-view. Now we move on to our co-main event. This should be an all-action fight, and both men have promised they want to steal the show for the WBA Super Middleweight World title. First, I'll start with you, Jaime. You are someone that has encountered adversity, and you came on the other end victorious. You bounced back from your loss to Bruno Saras, and you rectified that last year with the decision when you said yesterday, we're going to see a new Jaime Munguia. What do you mean by that?
Bueno, yo creo que pues sin duda van a ver un nuevo Jaime Munguía. Yo creo que pasamos esa etapa difícil, ¿no? Y la verdad que, pues digo, en la revancha yo sí estaba pues muy nervioso, estaba, pues no sabía, ¿no? Lo que podía pasar, obviamente. Pero siento que ya después de haber pasado eso, pues no le tenemos miedo a nada y estamos listos, como te lo digo, para ser nuevamente campeones del mundo.
You're definitely going to see a new Jaime Munguia because I've gotten over the hump. To be honest with you, when I had that rematch, I was nervous because it was the uncertainty of not knowing what could happen. But now I'm renewed, the toughest part is over, and I'm ready to show you this new facet of mine.
All right, now over to you, Armando. You obviously came away with one of the biggest upsets last year as the world champion with the huge upset defeating former champion Caleb Plant. How do you prove to everyone that wasn't just a one-night performance and that you are here to stay at the top of the division?
Armando, diste el batacazo contra Plant el año pasado. Ahora, ¿cómo vas a intentar demostrar que eso no fue una casualidad, que llegaste para quedarte?
Pues tal cual, haciendo mi trabajo, haciendo las cosas bien. Primeramente Dios así va a ser, vamos a salir a darlo todo, vamos a hacer todo con mucha disciplina y poder consolidarnos.
It's all about putting in the work. God willing, we're able to go out there, execute the game plan, and with that discipline, be able to come out with the win. Simple as that.
And now over to you, Jaime. What challenges does Resendiz present to you?
Bueno, yo creo que es un gran reto. Resendiz, ¿no? Es un gran peleador, es un peleador joven, con muchas ganas de salir adelante, al igual que yo y al igual que todos los que estamos aquí, ¿no? Entonces, sin duda es un gran reto y se respeta mucho. Y pues vamos a darle una gran pelea a todo el público, como siempre.
It's certainly a really big challenge against a young, hungry fighter, just like me, and I respect that a lot. So what I want is for us to be able to give the fans the fight that they deserve, and that's what I'm looking for.
Final question to you, Armando. You have said you have much respect for Munguia. Do you feel an obligation, with both of you being Mexicans from the Pacific Coast, to deliver a show here on Cinco de Mayo weekend?
Bueno, Armando, ¿sentís que le debes a los aficionados mexicanos de la costa Pacífico darles un espectáculo a lo grande este sábado por la noche? ¿No me escuchás? Hola. Ahora, Armando, ¿me escuchas ahora? ¿Me escuchan bien? Ahí. Hola. Sí. Okay. Could you repeat the question, please? And I'll repeat the question too. Miguel, could
you said you have much respect for Munguia. Do you feel an obligation with you both being Mexicans, especially from the Pacific Coast, to deliver a show here on Cinco de Mayo weekend?
Armando, ¿sentí la responsabilidad, siendo de la costa Pacífico de México y en un duelo entre mexicanos, de dar espectáculo para el mundo entero contra Munguia este sábado por la noche?
Claro, es un compromiso y una responsabilidad grande, ¿no? Dar un buen espectáculo por mi parte, como lo digo, como lo vengo diciendo. Yo voy a darlo todo para que toda la gente, todo el público salgan bien contentos esa noche.
Absolutely. It's a big responsibility, a commitment on my part to be able to give the fans the kind of show that they deserve. And that's what's going to happen on Saturday night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is 4 of our 5 fights on the pay-per-view. We're going to have our fighters pose, and then we will regroup and get our main event on the stage. So first off, we'll have our fighters pose at the front and get photos.
Sí, chicos, vamos a posar ahora para las fotos, por favor, así que si se pueden levantar, muchas gracias.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick reminder, don't forget, later this evening at 5 p.m. local time, we have our Cinco de Mayo edition as we have legends, Oscar De La Hoya, Julio Cesar Chavez, that will be here alongside Cameron, Bernardo Osuna, and Treasure Wilson, as they will be discussing all things here at 5 p.m. local time, as they are going to dive into the importance of the Cinco de Mayo fight weekend, as well as discuss the documentary as well. So that is something you do not want to miss. Once again, that takes place here in the ballroom at 5 p.m. local time, and it is also available on the Premier Boxing Champions YouTube page. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get going with our main event press conference. Just a quick reminder, please, if we could keep the noise level down. If you need to make a call, we ask that you please step outside, but we definitely want to keep the noise level down as we get up and get prepared for our main event. Andrew, you good? Andrew. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome here to MGM Grand as we gear up for our final press conference. And this time, we are now set for our main event fighters. We see undefeated two-division world champion David El Monstro Benavidez and unified WBA and WBO cruiserweight world champion Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez as they headline a special Cinco de Mayo weekend here in Las Vegas, Nevada in an all-Mexican showdown. And it, of course, takes place this Saturday, May 2nd, headlining a PBC pay-per-view event. And it is available on Prime Video and DAZN.com from T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. Now, before we get to our fighters, I want to bring up a couple of men that helped put this mega fight together. First up, once again, we heard from him earlier talking about the other pay-per-view fights. He has certainly not hid his excitement for this main event fight. Please help me welcome the chairman and CEO of Golden Boy Promotions, Mr. Oscar De La Hoya.
Thank you very much once again. Pride, heart, sacrifice, and legacy. This is where boxing's biggest stage and Cinco de Mayo weekend come together. Mexican and Mexican-American fighters step into the ring carrying not just belts, but the weight of their culture and generations before them. Cinco de Mayo's humble roots originated from the Mexican victory in Puebla over the French, calls for the shared fight for freedom and identity. That same spirit is what built boxing. From Julio Cesar Chavez in the 90s to myself making it global, this weekend became sacred in boxing. And now it continues with David Benavidez versus Zurdo Ramirez, a Mexico versus Mexican-American showdown that's about more than a fight. It's history, it's identity. Zurdo is no stranger to making history. It's in his DNA. Today, he is a unified world champion, having stepped into enemy territory to secure his belts. Benavidez is fighting to become a 3-division world champion. This fight of the year candidate written all over it. This is a guaranteed war, mark my words. Estamos muy contentos, gracias por estar aquí. El 5 de mayo obviamente es una fecha muy importante para el boxeo, especialmente para los mexicanos, mexicoamericanos y para todos los pochos que viven aquí en los Estados Unidos, como yo. Va a ser una noche para celebrar la cultura y celebrar la historia a los peleadores que nos dieron este puesto hoy en día, como Julio César Chávez, el gran ídolo mexicano, como Canelo Álvarez y como su servidor Oscar de la Hoya. Estamos muy contentos porque esta pelea el sábado en papel es una pelea muy pareja, una pelea que va a ser emocionante, con mucha acción. Obviamente los récords de ambos dicen todo. Zurdo Ramírez capturó el mundo del boxeo hace años, ganando múltiples de campeonatos mundiales. Benavidez, con su estilo agresivo, inteligente, es un gran campeón mexicano, americano, y estamos muy orgullosos de estar aquí en Las Vegas, presentándoles al mundo una gran noche de boxeo nuevamente. Gracias y muchas gracias.
Thank you, Oscar. And now we'll turn things over to another man that had a very huge role in putting this fantastic main event together. From Samson Boxing, please, here is Mr. Samson Lukowitz. Also, ladies and gentlemen, if we could please keep it down. Please keep the noise level down. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, Cinco de Mayo, we have a history like Julio Cesar Chavez and the great Oscar de la Hoya. What is Oscar? Oh, that he took over Oscar de la Hoya, and he have not only that, we have Mayweather, and finally, and I believe the last year, Oscar de la Hoya, he did something spectacular to try to make this fight happen. Now we have Cinco de Mayo, MGM, T-Mobile, that will be spectacular. Not only for that, because these two fighters, he fight everyone. He took the fight with no hesitation. He said, I take the fight against Benavidez. If Benavidez, he say, I love this. We took this when we used to be young. We are not, without to mention name, but I have no choice. We not try to fight fighters that you know that he will win that night. Like in this case, the Cinco de Mayo, even though it was the last one in Saudi Arabia, Canelo, I believe he lost, and he passed that torch to the winner of this Saturday. I guarantee you that this winner, it will be the new face of boxing, and Canelo, he be on the story because he didn't fight the best. Thank you very much. I hope so that you will see an unbelievable undercard and enjoy, and like somebody say, ¡Viva cabrones! ¡Viva México!
And now we'll turn our attention to a couple of men that are very much in the gym with these guys as we go to the head trainers. First up, the trainer for Gilberto Ramirez. Please help me welcome Julian Chua.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for being here. What can I say? I'm like so excited for this fight. You know, we have a great game plan, as do probably everyone that tries to fight David. You know, like if you don't do your homework, you're in trouble. So we've done our homework. We've crossed our T's and dotted our I's, and I believe that Zurdo's gonna execute. You know, he's looked spectacular in the gym, and I have all the faith in the world in my guy. You know, this is such an exciting fight. The only thing I'm upset about is that I'm gonna be like so locked into it that I don't get to enjoy it as a fan, you know. I hope I can take a second to sit back while they're going and just be like, wow, like this is the fight. This is what Cinco de Mayo represents, and this is what Mexican boxing represents. So yeah, man, I'm so hyped for this fight. One last thing I'm upset about is losing on Shiba Inu from you. I'm upset about that too, but that's another conversation. Anyway, thank you guys for coming. Ready for May 2nd? We're ready.
And now we will go to a man that has helped put together one of boxing's best families. He is the father and head trainer. Please help me welcome Jose Benavidez Sr.
Hola, ¿qué tal a todos? Les quiero dar las gracias por estar aquí con nosotros, pero primeramente quiero darles gracias a Dios por permitirnos estar aquí en esta plataforma. Quiero dar las gracias a Al Heyman, Oscar de la Hoya, Samson por hacer esto posible. Estamos muy motivados, muy emocionados por pelear este 2 de mayo, 5 de mayo weekend. También le quiero dar las gracias aquí al Zurdo por darnos la oportunidad de pelear por sus títulos. Sabemos que el Zurdo va a venir preparado como nunca, ya lo miramos también, ha estado trabajando muy duro. Esta va a ser una guerra. Pero también quiero decirles que David Benavidez, el monstruo mexicano, este 2 de mayo se va a llevar los cinturones para la casa. Va a ser una guerra, va a ser una pelea muy difícil, la pelea más difícil de David en esta carrera. Pero nos vamos a llevar esos cinturones. Quiero invitar a todos ustedes que vean por pay-per-view la pelea. Va a ser una pelea explosiva, una pelea con mucha emoción, y vamos a representar a nuestra raza. Vamos a representar el 5 de mayo, que es un día muy importante para todos los mexicanos, y venimos preparados para seguir demostrando que esta es la era del monstruo mexicano, David Benavidez. Muchas gracias a todos ustedes y arriba México.
Testing one. There we go. Okay. So, first of all, I want to thank God for this opportunity. I also want to thank Al Heyman, Samsung Boxing, Oscar de la Hoya, PBC, everybody that was able to make this happen. I want to thank Zurdo as well for putting his titles on the line and facilitating this, because I'm sure this is going to be David's toughest fight of his career. But at the same time, I'm so excited to show everybody what the Monstro is all about. And I hope everybody can buy the pay-per-view, tune in. It's going to be a war. We're going to represent the Raza. We're going to represent Mexico. And it's going to be a can't-miss bout, the bout of the year. Thank you very much.
All right, now it's time to hear from our main event fighters. First up, this man is a former world champion at 168 pounds. He moved up to cruiserweight in 2023. Then he captured the WBA Cruiserweight Championship in 2024 and became Mexico's first cruiserweight world champion. He then added the WBO belt by beating Chris Billiam Smith later that year. And then he most recently defeated the former champion, Yuniel Doricos, last June. He is representing Mazatlan, Sinaloa, Mexico, with the record 48 victories, 30 by knockout, and just one blemish. He's the reigning, defending WBA and WBO Cruiserweight World Champion. Help me welcome Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez.
Hola, ¿qué tal a todos? Muchas gracias por estar aquí. Primeramente, gracias a Dios por la gran oportunidad, al Team Benavidez, a Golden Boy, a todos los que hacen posible esa gran cartelera. Vengo preparado, listo para llevarme los títulos a casa, a Mazatlán. Vamos a representar esta fecha tan importante, el 5 de mayo. Es el 2 de mayo, pero el 5 de mayo la vamos a representar, yo creo, David y yo muy bien, porque somos dos mexicanos. Vamos a dejar todo arriba ring. Los invito a que no se la puedan perder esta pelea y que vean una gran guerra este 2 de mayo. Thank you, everyone. I'm blessed to be here. Thank you, Team Benavidez. Thank you, Golden Boy. I'm happy to be here. Don't miss the fight. We will represent really well this May 5th, the weekend. It'll be May 2nd, the fight. But thank you, everyone. Don't miss the fight. I see you.
And now we'll bring up the man who is going for a world title in his third division and become the first fighter to win world titles at 168, 175, and 200 pounds. He has one of the best resumes in the sport and has proven he is afraid of no one. He's got wins over Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andrade, and David Morrell Jr., just to name a few. He enters this fight off a very big 2025, where he saw him hand David Morrell his first defeat in February, and then he blasted Anthony Yard in November. He is a native of Phoenix, Arizona, the former two-time super middleweight world champion and the reigning WBC and WBA light heavyweight world champion. He has a perfect record, 31 victories, 25 by knockout. Please help me welcome David El Monstro Benavidez.
Hola a todos. Primeramente le quiero dar las gracias a Dios porque sin Él nada de esto es posible. También le quiero dar las gracias al equipo de Zurdo Ramírez, los promotores, Al Heyman, Samson Lukowitz, Luis Cubas Jr. ¿Qué más puedo decir? Estoy 100% listo para esta pelea. Entrené durísimo por 5 meses y ya estamos listos para ganar 2 títulos más. Muchas gracias a todos. First of all, I want to give the thanks to God because without Him, none of this is possible. I want to give a big shout out to Zurdo Ramirez, Samson Lukowitz, Al Heyman, Luis Cubas, PBC, Golden Boy, and man, I'm very excited for this. I've been training extremely hard. I got 5 months training in this training camp, but because I knew Zurdo Ramirez is a great fighter, he's a great champion. We've done a lot of rounds with him back then, and I know he's going to come to fight. Big respects to all these guys over here, the great dudes. With that being said, it's time to go to war. And when David Benavidez goes to war, he doesn't shy away from anything. When I see the fire, I put myself in the fire to get the best version out of myself, and I'm not scared of nobody. And you guys will see what the Mexican Monster is made of this May 2nd. Thank you so much.
All right, now let's hear from our fighters. First, I'll start with the champ, Zurdo. Benavidez is making this move up 25 pounds to go to the cruiserweight limit. Do you believe he is taking on more than he should be fighting you?
No, I think he feels ready for this division. That's why he moved up.
David, over to you. I think you surprised, people when this fight was announced that you were going up and moving up to the cruiserweight limit. Why did you make that move up?
Because I had already been talking to Oscar for about two or 3 years about this fight. I knew Zurdo was making a move to cruiserweight. That was a fight that our team and then even Zurdo's team wanted for a long, long time because we had worked together. He's a great champion. Those sparring sessions that we had were pay-per-view sparring sessions. So we always told ourselves that we had to make this happen. But at the end of the day, bro, I'm a bad motherfucker and I just like the risk, and that's it.
Over to you, Zurdo. You're the champion. He's the one coming up in weight, but the odds show you're the underdog. Do you feel a little disrespected by that, or what's your thoughts going into this fight where the odds have you as the underdog?
Well, I'm the champ. I don't feel the respect. That's the people they thought, and I just train hard to put a great show and to prove myself and prove everyone that I'm still champion.
Now, David, you're going into this fight. You just spoke about how you both have had experiences over the years. You helped get him ready for several fights. You talked about the legendary sparring sessions. Obviously, I'm sure you guys are both very different fighters from the moments you had those sparring sessions, but is there anything that you take away from those sessions going into this fight?
Yes, I definitely took a lot away from those sparring sessions, but if that gets thrown out the window, I'm gonna be ready to adapt to anything that comes my way. That's what comes with being a great champion. So at the end of the day, it's gonna be a great fight, and everybody who's watching is gonna get their money's worth.
This question goes to your trainer, Chua. Preparing for this fight, 31 men have tried to defeat David Benavidez, and 31 men have fallen short. What makes Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez different to be the first man to give David his first defeat?
He's Zurdo Ramirez.
You want to elaborate? What?
His name is Zurdo Ramirez. What I don't know what else we want. He's different than all the other guys. That's it.
Now, over to you, David. This is a very special week, and you've talked about you've wanted that mantle to be the face of boxing, and now you are headlining your first Cinco de Mayo weekend. Talk about how special is it, because we know in boxing's history books how important this weekend is.
No, it's definitely real important, and I think just both of us having a fight on Cinco de Mayo weekend is something that we've been both working for a long, long time for. And I think God is just great. We're both blessed, you know what I mean? We both knew we were going to get this fight back then, and this is both of our first times fighting on Cinco de Mayo weekend. So, we both did our job. He captured titles in cruiserweight. I captured titles in light heavyweight, and it was just perfect timing, man. I'm just very excited to be here. I'm very excited to headline my first Cinco de Mayo card with my friend Zurdo Ramirez, who's another Mexican. So, man, I'm just very blessed to be here.
Now, over to you, Zurdo. David is, we're used to seeing him go into a fight as the bigger man, having the size advantage, but for this fight, he's not going to have that advantage. How do you view that aspect of the fight?
Well, I feel like it'd be a huge fight. It's a war. It's the weekend of May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, the weekend. I think everyone needs to tune in and need to see this fight. I mean, he's my friend. I like him, but at the end of the day, we're fighting, and then we try to win this fight, and we try to put a great show for everyone. And then I mean, I don't know what to say.
I'll ask you a question, Jose. How did this fight come about, or when David approached you about moving up to cruiserweight, what was your thoughts, and how did this change any way as far as the preparation than you normally are used to getting ready for a fight?
Well, first of all, I just got to give it up to David. I'm so proud of how far he has come, what he's done in the boxing business. And to be honest, I think he should be a promoter. Because all these fights, he's been promoting his own fights. He chooses his fighters. And, he wants to fight nothing but the best. And that's what we've been doing, proving that he's the best at 168, 175. Now he's going to prove that he's the best at 175. And when 200, cruiserweight, I'm sorry, like Zurdo said, he's a great fighter, man. This is the toughest fight of our careers. David has prepared himself. That's why we brought Junior to the camp. He brought a lot of good things to the camp, and that's another element that we're using, in this camp. He's bringing a lot of good vibrations, a lot of motivation, and what he knows in boxing. But like Zurdo said, he's going to try to win this fight. We're not going to try to win this fight. We are going to win this fight. On May 2nd, you have in the new world champion in the cruiserweight division. We're not going to try to win. We are going to win, and he is going to become a world champion.
Back to you, Zurdo. David has said he is going to test your body, he's going to test your chin, and he's going to test your soul. How do you respond to that?
I mean, he will try, and I will try. I will do it too. Yeah, Saturday, everyone will see a Zurdo Ramirez.
Now, back to you, David. You have mentioned plans to go back to 175 going into this fight. Do you plan to bounce back and forth between cruiserweight and light heavyweight, or is this just a one-time fight?
I mean, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm only thinking about Saturday. I mean, honestly, it's disrespectful for you guys to even bring up anything else. I'm worried about this, man. This is the unified champion at cruiserweight, and that's the only thing on my mind right now.
Now over to you, Zurdo. A win over David Benavidez does what for your career?
I mean, it's a win. Another day on the office. Yeah, it'll be.
And now over to you, David. Becoming a 3-division world champion, how does that feel? What would that mean to your legacy?
I mean, that just catapults me into the same category as the greats. It's very hard to become world champion. It's very hard to become world champion in 2 weight classes. So 3 weight classes would put me in the same conversations of the greats. So at the end of the day, I want to keep giving the fans what they want to see, the best fights, and keep winning world titles to solidify my legacy.
All right, final question, prediction. Zurdo, what happened Saturday night?
Saturday, everyone will see a war, and I will raise my hand for the win.
Same question to you, David. Prediction.
I'm going for a knockout. Whether I get it or not, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going in there. I'm going to try to stop Zurdo Ramirez every single round, and you guys know how I fight. I'm not going to change my character for anybody. This is the most dangerous fight on paper for me, but like when I said, when I see that fire, I throw myself in it, and I thrive in that fire.
All right, you heard from both men, ladies and gentlemen. This has potential fight of the year written all over it. We're now going to have our fighters come face off and take a few photos. Once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, we have later this evening, 5 p.m. local time, Oscar De La Hoya, Julio Cesar Chavez here with Cameron, Bernardo Osuna, and Treasure Wilson. You don't want to miss it. Then we have our weigh-in. Doors open 12 p.m. and then we start 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific for our weigh-in from MGM Grand Garden Arena. Thank you.